The map
Sure.
is Daybreak, the WCS edition of the map, and we are going to jump into it right now. Do have to switch the scoreboard, but yep, there we go. Spawning down in the bottom left corner is the yellow Protoss Quackpork, the silver Fusion Slugs, and spawning up the top right, the red Terran, who was unlucky not to take that loss. Series did go to 1-all, and then Jujuka managed to win the third game, but he is Bonik, the Platinum Terran, again from Fusion Slug. So Bonik, known for his early aggression, will we see that this game? Will we see Quackpork try to do something similar, or will he just play standard against his opponent?
Yeah, we'll be interested to see. We haven't seen too much of Quackpork so far in the Slugs. He only joined after the Seal Clan League finished.
Yep.
So he didn't get to fight any of those games.
Yeah, neither did I. That would have been awesome.
Well, next season, so
Yeah.
that'll be good. But so we haven't seen much of him. He did fight the other week against Tor in the BSG.
Yep.
When he went and four-gated Sweeper on this map actually as well.
Successfully or unsuccessfully?
No, I think it was Daybreak. It was unsuccessful.
Okay.
Yeah, Sweeper got the Overlord in, saw the 4 gates, and didn't take a third.
And yeah, a couple of
And
spine
then
crawlers,
defended it.
too easy.
Yeah, and looked for the pylons.
Yeah, so nothing too unusual at this stage. I think that gateway is a little bit late. Or hang on, 2 racks seems to be on the agenda for Bonik, and he's not even bothering hiding it. He's not even waiting till the probe is out, getting a marine out, and Quackpork will get free vision at that. And there's no gas up though for Bonik, so might not be a standard 2 racks rush.
There's going to be a marine push.
Yeah.
This is another build he likes doing, is just marines. He'll just send a handful of marines, and he'll take SCVs and try and just kill you.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that that Bonik is an all-in sort of player, and he's hardly done it so far.
Yeah, be good to see. I mean,
To be fair, in game 1 he had no choice. He was.
oh yeah, well, Jujuka beat him to it. So third barracks going down. Bonik will stay gasless and just live off those mules and SCVs.
Well, I'm pretty sure what he's going to do is he's going to bring most of his SCVs and rely on the mules to have some sort of economy back at home and try and just kill
Quackpork. And will he be ready for it? It's really going to come down to whether Quackpork expands before getting additional gates, which it looks like he's going to do. He's got the pylon in position and he's got the minerals. And yeah, this could be interesting. I mean, Quackpork could be in a bit of trouble here.
And of course, Bonik's going to scout it. Well, yeah, he did see it. Good. And yeah, Bonik at this point knows he's looking pretty good. As long as he keeps what he's doing, it's going to be quite hard for Quacky to hold this. Yeah,
I'm really excited to see how it does turn out though, because Bonik is, as he said, producing marines constantly. He's already got a lot. 5-minute mark, 8 marines. That's a lot, especially considering all that Quackpork has on the map is a lone stalker.
And it's looking. He's got a scouting. I'm not sure what he's scouting for.
Proxy racks or something? I don't know.
But he saw 2 in the base.
Yeah, in the base. You wouldn't think there's going to be an additional one. Maybe a factory, but yeah, I don't really think that's a liable option. Now we're getting a tech lab Bonik, but he's moving out with a lot of marines and 1 SCV. So he didn't pull SCVs. He's taking 2. Oh no, he's taking 1 and he's throwing down an expansion. So this is nice because Bonik's going to do a fair bit of damage, you'd imagine, and he's going to have the lead, or the equal number of bases back at home. But yeah, things definitely not looking too good for Quackpork here.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble here, but he does take his troops back, which is good. He sees the Terran army coming across the map.
He doesn't have he does have a sentry, so he can at least protect the main if he drops those force fields properly. But he will lose the natural. You can't imagine.
Oh
him
yes,
defending
he just has to sack it. He should take those probes back to the main. You're just never going to hold that.
Yeah, and now a bunker going down as well for Bonik, and he's got the base behind it. So Bonik's going to have an economic lead at this stage. Harvesters is equal as you'd imagine when it's just off one base. And Stim on the way as well for Bonik. So I like that because concussive shells would be pretty useless. I mean, Stim's a long way away still, but if he can stay around Quackpork's area long enough for Stim to finish, he'll just run up the ramp and kill everything. So three sentries
definitely.
now. 3 sentries. I don't think he's going to be able to penetrate this. Bonik probably be wise to... He's dropping another bunker. I think he'd be wise to just salvage the bunker and
yeah.
go
I wouldn't build another bunker, but I'd leave these troops. At least leave the 4 troops in the bunker, just to
yeah.
just eke out this little lead he has.
And yeah, even well, Quackpork's supply block now, and he's only now just throwing down 3 pylons. So Macro already slipping a little early for our Protoss player, up to 600 minerals, and he's floating a lot. And with Bonik finishing his expansion, now making an orbital command as that completes as well, things are definitely not good for Quackpork. And missed force field, bit of a waste of energy as well. It's got to be perfect for that force field drop.
Yeah, definitely. So the thing here for Bonik is like the damage is done.
Yeah.
The thing which could ruin it for him is if he loses all this army.
And then Quackpork
because then Quackpork could just counter push.
And he's throwing down a 3rd bunker. I don't agree with this at all, really.
No, I think he's gone overboard.
This is overkill.
Yeah, I mean he can salvage them, but I don't know. I just don't see the need. He just needs to contain.
And he's streaming.
He's
just streaming these across the map as well. Although we might see a starport go down soon, and if he can get drops in on Quackpork, that's all over. And now Quackpork looking to push out though. Now the bunker's coming into the equation. The 3rd one does finish. One of them in the middle does go down, but Quackpork's actually doing a decent job here. He's not going to be able to hold it. Does he have any energy for a force field? He doesn't have any energy for a... Oh, out of nowhere. One more force field.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Quackpork decided to go down there. I mean, he does need a break.
He needs an immortal. He needs an immortal or 2, and he can break that easily.
Exactly. That's exactly what he needs to do. And there's actually quite a bit of investment here for Bonik in keeping this.
This is his whole army. Like, there is nothing defending at home. But Bonik grabbing a 3rd now, I think that's a little bit greedy, really. I mean, of course, his opponent's on 1 base, so there's no reason for him not to grab the 3rd.
Bonik's giving up. This is exactly what he should do now.
That's good, yeah.
He can't lose this army. If he loses that army, even though it's small,
there's nothing at
he's
home.
Gonna get he's gonna get totally overrun back home.
And now it looks like we're gonna have nothing for a little bit while we wait. I mean, Quackpork. The question will be, how scared is Quackpork? Okay, he goes down now and sees that he's packed up shop, and he might even be wondering how long ago it happened. And surely he's not thinking he can 1 base this. He actually might be able to. Without bunkers, could be close, especially Immortals ripping through those Marauders. He needs a forward pylon though, that's for sure.
Yeah, I just don't think he has the economy to actually do it, to break through enough. Like, he wouldn't have the reinforcements. And he needs more than 1 Immortal too.
Yeah. He needed to chrono them out, he needed to not get supply blocked, and he's supply blocked now. And there's not even a pylon in production, so Quackpork supply blocking has been a real, and now you can see he's throwing down 3 more back at home, but he needs to be on top of that more in future, I think, because it could cost him the game here. And he runs up the ramp, nice Guardian Shield, catches all the units, force field trapping those units in as well, so that the Zealots can get some slices off. And there was a Marauder just standing there, and Quackpork didn't even fire at it. Now he does, and now he loses some Zealots, so decision making is seeming to be a bit of a problem, especially as Medivacs come out now for Bonik, giving him that benefit.
Well, they're not here yet though. There's still some damage Quack can do. He just
the window's
be decisive about it. But I think he threw down more pylons than he should have, and didn't. He should have thrown down on the gateway.
Yeah.
To be honest, as well. But the nice thing here for Quack, what he's just done is he's gonna keep Bonik his base for a bit now, because Bonik's like he just got lost some units. He realizes there's force fields, and the Protoss army is actually quite big.
Yeah.
So
credit to Quackpork. I mean, he had a lot of pressure on him, but he's got a good army still. He's got a good force.
Yeah, definitely. But the 3rd should soon be taken, and those
it's already he's dropping the orbital there now. the pylon is there, so Quackpork will be aware of it, but aware of it or not, I don't think there's much he can do about it, really.
No, definitely not. What Quackpork's going to have to do from here is he's going to have to realize that he is behind.
Yeah.
So what he needs to do is invest in something which can win him the game, and I think that's probably going to have to be Templar. I don't think Colossi will cut it.
Even a Storm drop as well, something like that. It just gives him the economic, well, at least makes the economy look even. But what I'd love to see from Bonik here would be a drop. You know, a drop right in the main. There's no units. It would take them. By the time they get there, he could have killed half the mineral line, and I mean, the worst thing Bonik could do is think, oh, I'm in front enough, I don't have to worry about putting on pressure. You've always got to put on pressure until the game's over. So, will we see Bonik go for that drop or not? That'll be really decisive, I think.
So, the interesting thing we have here is that both players are going to kick a third. And I think, yeah, Templar Archives. I thought that was going to come down for Quackpork, which I think I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's the only way he can come back into this because he needs to get a really good engagement and do some damage to this bio army. And knowing how Bonik plays, which most of us do in the clan, he doesn't usually go ghosts.
Yeah, he
also doesn't drop very often.
Yeah, he needs to drop more, but the problem with the placement of this Templar Archives is one scan. I mean, Bonik knows where, if you look at his vision, he knows where all the buildings are now. He'll just drop a scan on that and he'll see the Templar Archives, and then he'll either go ghosts or he'll just push right up the ramp before High Templars can get out. The only use of High Templars now will be for Archons, and he warps in 5, Storm's a long way away. He can do feedback, there's one medivac, but...
What I'd really like is for this army, though, to be at the ramp, and he could hold them off a little bit longer.
Yeah, because there's going to be a nice concave from Bonik. Bonik almost at max supply. Quackpork moves the Observer over and sees the army. One thing Bonik could probably improve on is seeing the Observers. Just dropping one scan, the Observer drops so quickly. And he used a scan just above the ramp, so he will see the army, and he won't see the Observer instead. Now he's moving up. This has got to be the death blow. Although Storm's so close to finishing, and he made the Archons anyway.
Done?
No, he made the Archons. All the High Templars, the only High Templar left died, and Bonik's just going to win this.
Yeah, that's very one-sided.
Problem was Quackpork didn't have any upgrades either. No Forge.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why I said the Templar was the key. If he got them up and got some storms off, then he would have held that.
Yeah.
And then it transitions to a 3-base game where you're pretty much even.
Yeah.
But
it's all over now. Just waiting the GG. Whooped in a bunch. Managed to feed back some medivacs, but they didn't even kill them because they used up all their energy healing the Marines and Marauders. So GG. I need to throw on my scoreboard. Oh, it's not 1-all. It is. Will be 1-0. Bonik will take a lead here, and Quackpork will choose the next map. I'm not sure why he just GG'd and didn't leave. I think he's hoping he can get that High Templar to... There's a High Templar that's on 40 energy. I think he's hoping he can drop one Storm, but it's not going to change a thing at all.
Oh, well, I'm hoping to just jump out because after the GG it's done, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you think Quackpork knows you can surrender at the end of a game?
Oh, maybe he doesn't. That's a good point. We take some of these things for granted. And
yeah, either way...
When it's the game, just don't know.
Either way, Bonik's about to kill the final gas geyser. I'm not sure. I can imagine how long Quackpork's ladder games go for after he GG's and just watches his opponents kill everything. And he actually had to... Bonik actually had to kill every single building. But all over now. Bonik are leading the series 1-0. Quackpork will choose the next map. And we're going to jump into game number 2. Map of choice for Quackpork is Ohana. And will we see him go for a 4-gate? Because it's a very short rushing distance of a map.
Well, I hope not. But I mean, as a lower league player, when you're playing someone who you think or know is quite better than you, you can just try and throw them off by doing something like that.
Yeah.
I still just like people to play that normal game, and to be honest though, you learn a lot more by doing that. But I guess this is a tournament, So,
and it is a best of 3 as well. So, I mean, if it's just one game, you want to play really safe. You want to make sure you're not getting cheesed yourself, and then you just want to be in the best position possible. Whereas in a best of 3, not really in this game where he's 1-0 down. You'd think if he was going to risk anything, he would have done it last game. But pylon scouting, and that's not really... That's early. That's an early scout, especially in a 2-player map. I gateway scout every game. And sometimes you can even gas scout if you're confident there's not going to be some kind of early pressure. But pretty much gateway scout, especially on a 2-player map, and you will be alright to...
Yeah, I actually like the pylon scout, to be honest, lately. Because, and this is... right now...
Look at that,
yeah,
sorry.
no racks.
Yeah, and also the supply department, though. You can just slip through there, that gap between the supply depot and the cliff. So, I guess it doesn't matter too much, because he's never going to complete that wall in anyway.
But yeah, at this point, Quacky should be going, what? Where's the barracks?
Yep. He should be hanging around, seeing if there's an expansion, like an expansion first. But
even then, they still would usually...
Either way, yeah, definitely. Something's up, and he's actually just gonna... SCVs will never beat... Sorry, probes will never just beat an SCV if you go straight up for the attack, and that's what he tried doing, and he lost a probe for it. So, already, units lost. 50 resources down is Quackpork, and it's good that we're seeing him move the probe around. He's got it queued up at a lot of positions. He's actually going to discover this barracks. If you click on the probe and then have a look at its path, it's going to discover this barracks. But a marine's going to gun the probe down.
Too.
Yeah.
And then now he knows exactly what's going on.
And he's dropped. Ooh, timing from Bonik. I think he waited a little bit. He could have dropped the tech lab after the.
And he's bringing SCVs up now, Bonik. He's going to put bunkers in the base.
Yeah, he's going to have to do that quickly though, because I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Quackpork reacts. He hasn't panicked and dropped a forge, which is good, because I don't think dropping a forge and getting cannons would really do the job. He just needs gateways, and he needs them as fast as possible. So continue to chrono boost and not get supply blocked.
4 gate at this point.
Yeah, and not get supply blocked. That's the most important thing. If he gets supply blocked and he's a few units short in an engagement, he'll lose straight up.
And look how many SCVs we have. This is going to be an all-in very shortly.
Bonik is supply blocked though. I think he's going out now with everything. Just one Marine, one Marauder, and a few SCVs. I don't think that's going to be enough at all. Especially with this Stalker coming out. If this Stalker comes out, I feel Quackpork will hold this. Will be interesting to see though. Probably not the best engagement. And you can't micro melee units against other melee units. So you can't kite them.
But he needs to go now. He
needs to take out the Marine and the Marauder while they're out of position, especially with the Stalker on that range, and focus on the actual units. He loses a Zealot for nothing. Concussive Shells has finished, and Quackpork really needs to take out the Marine and the Marauder, not go for those SCVs. They are designed...
The Zealot's behind. He should actually get it. Now he is. Yep. He's going to kill that Marine.
Oh no, nice micro by Bonik, but another Stalker out now. A lot of Stalkers out now. Quackpork is going to hold this, I'm confident. And he's trying to run him out, but the move speed of the Stalker is greater than the SCV. All these SCVs. Bonik is left mining with how many harvesters? 10 compared to 16 of Quackpork. So Quackpork's production of production of probes did stop. It actually stopped still, and that's something he can work on definitely. But he's in a good position. He needs to be smart and not throw this away. He's trying to micro back that weak Stalker on 4 health.
No, that's well done, actually.
Marauder actually popped from the other position, and he could actually lose all these units. Especially with concussive shells, he needed a concussive shell on that Zealot, and he would have been able to kite that nicely. Still though, Bonik, I feel, he's got the orbital command, he's got mules, he's got 2 barracks. I'd say things are looking relatively even. It's a big call.
Especially since the pro production has stopped for Quackpork here.
Yeah, and that's... I understand pressure can make you panic and, you know, do unusual things, but that's crucial.
You know, I actually wouldn't mind seeing Quackpork just throw down an expansion at this point. He's got the minerals to do so. And
he's putting the pressure on.
And Bonik's not going to have anything for a while.
Yeah, he's throwing down... Well, he's landing 2 racks. He's going to have 4 racks, and you assume he's just going to stream Marines. He's throwing down in the command center himself.
Yeah, that or he needs more gateways.
Well, yeah, it's one or the other, but he can't fund that many gateways if he stops probe production. That's the thing. He's got 17 mining probes, floating a lot of minerals. He's floating more minerals than there'll be on 3 warp-ins, but nicely done taking out that bunker before it finished, because that would be decisive. That would really change the game. 3 stalkers are going to come and help now. I think Bonik's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, definitely he is.
Quackpork needs to play this right, though. Pylon should be right up against the cliff and walk right into the base, not so that he can just warp 1 unit into the base, but so many stalkers now.
Oh, definitely. And he's stopping the bunkers, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. If bunkers go down, as Jejuka found out early game, bunkers can stop your aggression. I'm not sure why he's just running away when there's 4 Marines. What's he running from? He could really stay and fight, and Bonik needs to get this bunker finished.
There are quite a few Marines, but
yeah, but Bonik needs to get this
he should have just kited, really. But he's doing okay. He should be able to take this game as long as he doesn't do it too.
Even if Quackpork loses this army, though, Bonik's left with what? 8 harvesters.
Yeah,
Quackpork,
exactly.
Though, yeah, he stopped at like the 4-minute mark.
And that's a well done.
1-0.
And I'm actually really pleased by that game from Quackpork, because he got into the base and was like, he knew something was up, which is a good sign for low-level players when they get to a base and they're like, wait a sec. Because the second he got in there, he started looking. And he sent another probe out, which I like as well. He sent a probe from his main out to look around his base.
He found it. I mean, if he didn't know it was coming, he would have been in some trouble. But just when I was disagreeing with the Pylon Scout, I actually saved him that game.
But yeah, I don't have any maps vetoed. I figure that I'm gonna have to play them in a tournament setting anyway, so I might as well just
I hate Metalopolis.
Oh yeah.
I have that vetoed just because you can't forward fast expand very safely. Once you do, I find myself really cramped. Third bases are quite distant, but close enough for Zerg to defend them. And drops,
I don't mind the third.
You can be close. You can be close air positions as well, and drops just destroy you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's so many reasons I don't like that map, and that map will always be vetoed. So my vetoes are Tolda and Melta, it's too big. Yeah, Coral Compound, and the Metalopolis, and that's similar to a fair few Protoss players that I know.
Yeah, I did it first. Like I think last season I had Shattered Metal and Zelnaga as my vetoes. I think last season, and then this season I was just like, there's all the tournaments that I was in were using them, and I was like, I just gotta play them.
Yeah.
At least I got rid of Zelnaga because I hated that map so much.
Yeah, it's very short. Hey, we forgot to introduce the players, so.
Yes, we should probably do that.
Just quick. Spawning down the bottom left is the green Terran player Bonik, who lost that game due to a failed aggression. Spawning up the top right is the red Protoss player Quackpork. Bonik in the platinum division, Quackpork in silver. So it's good to see that he's at least taken a game, even if he doesn't win the series. It's always good to take a game for your confidence. And now Bonik completes the wall in, so that probe has nowhere to run or hide. But still, Bonik now has 3 SCVs off mining already. He does use one now to scout though, so I like the way Bonik just does this wall in. And I mean, Quackpork knows now it's going to be a pretty standard game. I'm assuming 1 Rax gasless expand for Bonik, the Terran player, and we'll just have to wait and see how Quackpork reacts to that.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. Bonik likes to do this too. I find that if he doesn't do some sort of marine bio all in, he likes to do the gasless expand.
Yep. We saw that as well against Jed.
Yeah, exactly. But this should be interesting to see what Quackpork wants to throw at us now. I gotta stop using people's other nicknames or real names, which is even worse because no one knows what I'm talking about. They're like, "Who's this Matt guy? Who's this Steve guy?"
Who's Steve? Yeah.
So I'll do my best to stop doing that.
Yep. I'm not sure what's to go with this probe all the way lost up here for Quackpork, but now pulling it back. And when we see him drop a Nexus, it's certainly indicating that, but he does have a lot of idle probes already, Quackpork. He's got one sitting at the top of the ramp. Now he pulls one back to mine, which is good. But that's really always something you can work on in lower league play. But it's really good for you and I to be able to watch these games from this perspective, because we can see where each player is making mistakes and let them know after the tournament, of course, because we don't want to jeopardize our own chances. But yeah, you know, just help each other out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not too worried actually. I figure if they're good enough to beat me, then like even if I'm giving it advice that makes them beat me, then that's a good thing for me as a captain.
Yeah, well, I can't verse these guys till the final anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. I guess at some point we should talk about our feelings about our games.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do that after this game. But I'm not sure what I'm going to see here from Quack.
Yeah, pushing out now. Yeah, he obviously won't get very far at all because of the bunker. Just standard one gate expand. But what will he go into? How will he adapt? That's going to be the game changer, I think. Yeah, he needs to back up.
I'm pretty confident I know what Bonik's going to do, which, I mean, we've seen his games aren't that dissimilar.
Yep.
I'll be surprised if he builds a ghost, for instance, or does a drop, or goes mech. If he does either one of those three, I'll probably die of shock.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a big buyable.
Yeah, well, as we saw in game number 2 on Antigua Shipyard against Jejuka, and he won that game, so that was also a TVP. And what will we see a similar result? But yeah, one thing that's good is that the guys can watch the VODs of their 3 games, and they can address the kind of issues that we've mentioned and picked up, which is really handy. So now Stimpack and +1 attack on the way for Bonik, while Quackpork still showing no signs of going down any tech route apart from having 5 gateways.
Five gates, eh?
Yep, and a lot of sentries. That's a lot of gas worth of sentries, and he's boasting it. He's walking it right into the scan there. So Bonik knows there's 500 gas worth of sentries, the top of Quackpork's ramp, but apart from that, very little to defend his base, really, in terms of unit substance. And will we see Bonik doing some kind of timing with this +1 and stim? He's getting the factory. I assume that would just scout, maybe. He hasn't used it as a scouting factory, but that would be good. And then we can see him get the medivacs out and put a lot of pressure on Quackpork. But he needs to... I just feel if Bonik could double prong attack, it would just be more than twice as effective. If he dropped units into the main, especially against like lower level players, they don't know how to react. They don't know how to split their army adequately to deal with it. So if he could drop just, you know, 1 medivac supply worth of units and then attack the front door with everything else, it'd be so much better than just moving into the natural of Quackpork. But now look at this. Look at the direction. Look at the direction of both players. We've got Bonik taking the clockwise. They're both going clockwise, really. And now Quackpork's going to put pressure on this. So Bonik's actually grabbed a third. He'll be forced to cancel it. I hope he cancels it, because that's 400 minerals down the drain.
The problem
if he doesn't,
Quackpork is he's left himself right open.
Oh yeah, he should have at least left one of those, 6 sentries? Yeah, he's got 5 sentries. He should have left 1 at home just to at least save the main, regardless of what happens. So we're going to try to capture both of this. Bonik running into the natural of Quackpork. Quackpork forcing the cancel of Bonik. Bonik now floating a lot of minerals, and he runs right into the mineral line of Quackpork, killing a lot of workers. Bonik has killed 21 workers of Quackpork already, and that's a big deal now. Quackpork's going to try to do something a little similar. He's got a big gateway force himself now. Bonik trying to pull a lot of SCVs to attack this force, and Quackpork has to make sure he attacks the attacking units, not the SCVs. He's pulling back. He's got enough to deal with it. He needs to make sure he knows that, and if he can get this proxy pylon down and warp in a bunch of guys at this proxy pylon, he'll be able to do a lot of damage. But meanwhile, Bonik is depowering the gateways, and that's got to be over, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all well and good to have your forward pylon, but if you don't have a gateway powered...
And I'm not sure. Look at the gateway placement. When he's got 3 pylons up top, those 3 pylons could have been powering the gates, and would have given him time to warp in some units and make it an effective base trade. And now it won't be an effective base trade because Bonik's just getting units at home. He's getting two bunkers in kind of awkward positions, really. Now a third bunker in a smarter position, but he's got enough of a force to deal with this. Stalkers push up the ramp. This is all that's left for Quackpork. His 19 supply is made up of all of these stalkers and one probe. He does have enough money to warp in, yeah, one more stalker. Now going to push up and try to win the game, but I think it's got to be over and a GG.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything he can do at this point. There's bunkers to fall back on. Like, he has to kill the buildings, and it's just not going to happen.
And meanwhile, Bonik slowly chips away at the civilization of Bonik. The civilization of Quackpork. And yeah, that's what, a pylon, 3 gates, and a couple of gas. And oh, he'll have to kill the forward pylons eventually. I guess Quackpork could try and defend it, but he's only delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, Bonik's still got income.
Yeah,
so...
exactly. Oh, and he runs down the ramp though, Bonik. He will take out all these stalkers. I thought he wasn't going to actually attack with them. It didn't look like it. But 0 supply now, Quackpork, GG, and... Oh, he does know how to leave the game. And Bonik will take that series.
Wow. And that was a quick end.
Now Quackpork versus Jejuka, is it?
We're actually going to go jump to the other group.
Okay, I was going to say.